So again, for those who don't know, I am the faculty coordinator for the Transfer Center. And many years ago, I mentioned at the very beginning that I was very lucky to have interned in the health professions office at Husky Long Beach, where the pre-med advisor really shared with me a lot of information about med school, farm school, dental. And one of her best advice was go directly to the source. So if you can, whenever you can, go to the information sessions directly at these various universities, speak to the representatives, from the nursing programs, from the PT, PA types of programs directly. I'm actually going to bypass a lot of this information on transfer. I'm actually going to go to the resources first, then I'll backtrack and talk to you a little bit about a few other things to consider. For example, majors and GPAs. But I thought I would start with the resources first because that is always really good information. All right, first and foremost, starting with resources here at IVC. Here at IVC, we actually have a number of guide sheets. Okay, I think I left it somewhere in the back. I brought it over here, but I don't know where I left it. Okay, in short, whether you're looking at nursing, PA, PT, and so forth, we actually have an overview once on the front side and some on the back. And then we actually have courses at the various local and popular universities, Chapman, Western U, and so forth. So you could actually find out what courses you could take here at IVC that will also be required for admissions to the various professional schools. So under the guide sheet, if you click on here, the ones that are in PDF, they're all updated. The ones in the Word document, I still got to update those. So those will be updated. So if you're looking at dental, med school, and nurse practitioner, we have a couple of those. Okay, I think there's a few more out in general counseling. But check this out. Let's look at example pharmacy. So an overview, then each and every single school. Chapman, Loma Linda, Truro. So then not only should you be looking at your transfer information, but always keep an eye out on the major prerequisites, especially if you're a non-science major. If you're a bio major, for the most part, you're going to be able to take care of most of this. But what if you were a psych major or an English major? You can still do English and still get into medical school, because half the people who have who get into medical school don't have degrees in the hard sciences. They have it in psychology, in English, and so forth. I know someone who went to UC Berkeley as a nutrition major, and now is a gastro doctor, okay? Basically a doctor for gut and so forth. So you have lots of options. Let's see this. Going back to the PowerPoint. Let's see here. Okay. Every year we have an IVC Pre-Med Health Professions Conference in the spring, a virtual event. In the past, we did it, last year we did 3 days, but this year we're only going to do it 1 day because we have this event today. So I'm so glad that everyone's here. Now for the conference for last year, or actually in the spring, we have videos for everything. So today you probably heard so many acronyms on nursing, right? BS and ADN and so forth, and you're still a little, especially the new students, the first time, they're a little confused. Well, check this out. Click on this one. Give it a second here. No, I won't go through. It's going to take 30 seconds. But the presenter is the nursing counselor at Gordon West College, who just happens to be also my own sister. Right? She's going to give you basically a breakdown of ADN, BSN, NCLEX, TEAS, and all that. She'll basically give you the basics of that. Then for the other part of the presentation, is in our presentation, there's actually a nurse who has many years of experience, and she'll share with you kind of the hands-on practical job opportunities and so forth. So it gives you even more information and details. So it's one link, and it goes to our IVC YouTube page that has basically about 10, 12 videos on the various professions. If you're looking at medical school, we have Dr. Marco Angelo right here. Kind of small right there, but he'll share with you his experience. He basically almost dropped out of community college, okay, and failed after he transferred. He had some really substandard grades, but he's a medical doctor today. So regarding GPA, we're looking at med schools look at actually 4 GPAs, as well as probably most health professions. They're looking at your overall GPA, your GPA in your math, science, physics, the prerequisites basically for your major. They're looking at your last 60 transferable units, but they're gonna also gonna look at your trends in your GPA. So you may have messed up a little bit beforehand, but if it's trending up, and then also let's say that you didn't do super spectacular both here and also at the university after you transfer, but then you do a post back and you hit it out of the park with a 3.9 GPA in a bio degree and master's program. Okay, so that also, and also life experiences too. So they're looking at the full package. You really have to think about and consider that. But of course, more A's open up more doors. B's kind of break even, B plus, B plus, and then with a lot of C's, it does close more doors for you. So you really want to aim for as high of a GPA as possible. Pre-Med CC, great nonprofit that came about. They have a ton of videos on the various areas, especially in medicine. One of my favorite links to go to is Council Long Beach's Health Advising Office. Now, after today, don't feel like you got to jump in and learn all this information and all this. It's going to take a while. So whenever you have a little bit of a break, during Thanksgiving, click and start reading through the material during your winter break and during summers and so forth. And if you can, try to find those folks, who really know it and understand it and who could really coach you through the process. Okay, so look, resources and documents. Our sheet here actually came from Long Beach. So they gave us permission to basically use their format. That's how we originally got this. So it has a lot of similar information here. They even have a checklist, a timeline also for applying for the various health professions. And then once you're at these universities, connect with these people right away because they're going to be able to read your personal statements. They actually help students all the time to apply. UCI, UCLA, San Diego, Davis, Long Beach, and Fullerton, they all have health professions advisors who specialize in supporting students. Now check this out. If you're still exploring, San Diego has a Health Beats guide that basically helps you inventory questions and terminology, MD versus DO versus podiatry. They give you what's required hours, median score, year, application, cost, salary. Basically, the research is really all there for you. It's just a matter of digging through the information and finding really good resources. And typically resources directly at the university's health professions offices are typically very good overall resources for you, okay? And they're public institutions, so please use their resources. They're technically free. It's not just for their students, but it's fairly for all students. This gives you a nice glimpse and comparison between the different professions. And then thinking about the different professions give you also different salary, but also different lifestyle. I know that most pharmacists that I know, friends who work in retail, they only work 4 days a week. Okay, and then optometry. Okay, if you don't like blood and so forth, they get to do regular hours, basically 8 to 5, 9 to 6, and so forth. Right? They never, maybe we work on Saturdays. Okay, but if you're an emergency room doctor, you're on call all the time. Okay, so you also have to think about and consider that too. And optometry actually is a pretty, in comparison to a lot of the other health professions, pretty well paying. And then PAs, nurse practitioners, PA school, okay, the number of years and also the salary rate, the range too. I know the PA start out at what, 110 to 120-ish, versus general medical school doctors, it's about 160 to 180-ish, okay? But then you also look at the number of years and how much you want and also lifestyle and things to consider too. So I know that a few students I've worked with, early on, they learned the difference and they say, I'm going to do PA, I'm not going to do med school because they, for them, having that to be a doctor wasn't the end all be all for them. They also looked at other values of consideration also. All right, a couple more good resources for you. Okay, UCI's health professions too. They have some really good info and then tons of videos already out there. YouTube video. So here, applying, test prep, DAT, okay, for dental, the MCAT preparation. So the information, especially these days, is online in some really good areas. Any pre-med out here just in case? Okay, check this out. This is unofficial, but there's a Dr. Gray, HD Med School headquarters. I can't really tell you, put it in here, okay? But when I listen to him, I'm always amazed. Wow, this person understands med school admissions. Okay, all the nuances of that, and I learned so much from him, from that, not only from the UCLA pre-med advisor, but everything he said is like, now I understand. Oh, that's how admissions pretty much works. But then the other part too is that go to these conferences and listen directly to the admissions directors. We have a bunch of videos here from the past through UC Davis. They have a health conference every single year, various health panels, okay, of admissions folks in the various areas. Listen directly to them, attend our conference next semester virtually, and you get to hear directly from the source. Okay, talking about directly from the source, I'll use one example, Western U. And then if you actually click on to upcoming events, DO, their med school basically, Master's in Health Science, Nurse Practitioner, Associate Degree Nursing to Master's if you have an ADN program, a degree already, okay? So they have all these various options and presentations available for you, either in person or virtually, okay? I know that KGI has a ton of different programs too, and I really haven't had a chance to check out your website, but that's definitely one I'm going to be checking out. I know that you're connected to the Claremont colleges, and that's definitely a great medical school. So go directly to the source, listen and connect. And even if you don't have a great stellar GPA, okay, work with a counselor or somebody directly from the program and say, how can I work on my GPA in order to be a more competitive candidate? All right, let me just present for about 5 more minutes on a few more key things on my presentation here. One thing I want to share with you is major options. And then feel free to look at this PowerPoint. Like I mentioned, this PowerPoint is for my new incoming freshman students who want to learn about the health professions and resources. So it's an hour long. I won't be able to go through all this with you, but I wanted to highlight a few things. One thing is, let's see if I can find it. Picking your majors. So here's an example. Anyone looking at the UCs? Perfect. All right. UCI. You click on 2 majors by category and focus, and you click on health and medicine, all these various options. So not just a bio major, okay, that's kind of a given bio major, right? But global health, health informatics, microbiology, nursing, that one's really tough to get into. Public health, that's a great field, okay? For med school, pharma school, dental school, or pretty much anything, okay? As long as you do the prerequisites. Psychology, that's another really good option too. And then UCI actually has 2 psych programs. One's more the cognitive pre-medish routes, but then you could do the counseling one. And as long as you do the prerequisites, still maintain a really good GPA and so forth, you can still get into medical school. For UC Berkeley, they make it really simple. You just go here and you click major and you click, there should be medicine here, academic programs related to pre-health medicine. And they list a whole number of possible, where it's not posted. Oh, here we go. Some possible majors here for you to consider and think about. Remember I mentioned that that's the student, now who's the doctor now, nutrition, and now is a doctor. So she got into medical school with that. Think about your majors then. What major would you really enjoy learning about more in depth? Okay, and you could also, because you enjoy it, likely you'll probably do a little bit better, right? So if your bio's really and chem's not really your thing, do a psych major because you really like human behavior, but then make sure that you do really well in your science classes. Okay, the core ones that require. So then you don't even have to do bunch of more bio classes and maybe kill your GPA. And then let's look at one other example. Let's look at, where's my presentation? Here you go. And also, as you're looking at different options too, you'll see that there's different concentrations. So this is just the health sciences, BS in public health science, okay? You can do different concentrations in different areas, whatever you're interested in. More the stat stuff, the climate, epidemiology, medicine, because then as you think about your options and majors and emphasis and so forth of area of interest, then allows you to consider, research in that area, more to speak about within that. And then, of course, the other thing too is, two things. These are my two final thoughts for you. Med schools, pharm schools, health professions, anything in almost early in any field. The two most important things in my view and experience is communication skills and leadership. If you have those two things and you can really express that both in writing and also in the interviews, and you may have a little bit lower GPA. Trust me, that's me. 3.0 GPA all my life. And when I started out, 18 and 19, I took public speaking twice to get over my fear of public speaking. Okay, I couldn't write words well at all. I worked really hard at that. Okay, but I became a student leader and really built my skills. And that was why I was able to beat out 200 people for this job and get into a grad program. The average GPA was 3.5. So yes, it is about GPA and you want to be within that range, but really you want to be a full package to really show that you can be a student leader in the field. You have excellent communication skills to work with patients. So there's so much more to think about, consider. And I'm so glad that you guys are here today for our first really nursing presentation and health affair to really learn this information from everyone here and also from me based on my knowledge and experience. So hopefully what we provide to you today and we will continue to provide you will be very helpful information.